The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. How are you? You ready to dumb it down? Let's dumb it down. Oh, you guys are really into it. Fantastic. Well, hello, everybody. I like that applause. Sounds great. You guys sound very enthusiastic. It's kind of tough sometimes to be enthusiastic. We're going to get to that in a couple of minutes about being enthusiastic. Well, anyway, thank you for tuning in, stumbling in, dialing in, however it is you got here. My name is Dave-Kanyan. Welcome to the Dumbcast. This is Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Could also be called the dumbest podcast on earth. I sometimes refer to it as a Dumbcast. A whole bunch of different ways of describing the show. And so hello, Dum-Dums. And for those of you who are here for the first time, I just want to let you know that's a term of endearment. Don't be offended if I refer to you as a dum-dum. And for those of you who listen to me on a weekly basis, thank you for being patient. It's been 53 days since my last podcast. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 53 days since my last Dumbcast. For those of you who are listening in 2018, 2019, 2020, never mind. You don't need to worry about when it was my last time that I podcasted. But we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about enthusiasm and why the 53-day delay between episode 70 and 71. Did I mention it's July 9th? It is 6:32 in the morning, and I am leaving Newburgh, New York. I used to work out of Rensselaer, but the last couple of days they've worked me out of Newburgh, New York. It's just a different location to start from for different reasons, different circumstances, all work-related and not really too important. So let's get to it. The It and Dumbing It Down with Dave. For those of you who have not listened to the show before, have not heard the show before, you know, one of the subtitles of the show is Truth, Pragmatism, or is it Pragmatism, Truth, Happiness, and the Search for It All. And I just basically hit the record button and I go. I try to do this podcast, let's get back to saying Dumbcast, you know, twice a week. I used to. Once on the way into work and once on the way home. Try to get two in there, but it seemed to be a lot. So then I backed it down to one a week and just try to make it a good one. So that's an update for those of you who have never heard the show before. And it's just a stream of consciousness. Sometimes I prepare. Most times I don't. Today I'm a little bit prepared. And that's it. We go. We just get to it. So let's get to it. You know what? Let's do the mileage report. For those of you who are new, let me explain the mileage report. I got a buddy of mine that does a podcast. He does a radio show, and I used to just plug it. But at some point, I decided to make it a little bit more professional and let them. I'll do a mileage report because I do the Dumbcast in my Kia Rio. Did I mention that? That it's the fastest podcast on earth. I do it in my 2008 Kia Rio LX. So I like to do the mileage report. You know, it's good for me. I think it's interesting, and I'm hoping maybe Kia picks up on it and, maybe gives me a little support down the road. I mean, how many podcasts are done from a Kia or a Kia Rio? I think that makes me kind of unique. So anyway, let's do the mileage report real quick. Usually I give you a weekly mileage report, but since I haven't broadcasted for 53 days, I'm going to have to give you a big number. I can't do a weekly one because the tripometer only goes up to 999. Well, I've done quite a bit more than 999 miles since my last Dumbcast. All right, so the mileage report is brought to you by Comedy Pipe. ComedyPipe.com. They have a show called Pipe Dream, and they air it Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. Can you tell I'm a little rusty? Yeah, I'm a little rusty. Every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, wherever you are in the world, it's time for Pipe Dream. Hosted by Mike 3D. His nickname is 3D. And they have a special guest every week, and he has some co-hosts. So there you go. Wherever you are in the world, if it's Wednesday at 8 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States, it's time for Pipe Dream on ComedyPipe.com. You can listen to it there, and you can also watch it and listen to it on YouTube, and it's live. He's got cameras and all that good stuff, so check him out. All right. And so the mileage in my Kia right now, 2008 Kia Rio, so it's 9 years old, this Kia, is 239,194 miles. 239,194. It's a lot of miles, right? The last Dumbcast I did, I was at 234,644 miles. I'll do the math for you. Since my last Dumbcast, I have done, in 53 days, I've done 4,548 miles. It's a little bit less than 100 miles a day. Probably about 90 miles a day. Yeah. So, there you go. 4,548 miles since my last Dumbcast. All right, so now I'm going to reset the tripometer, hoping that I'll do my next Dumbcast a lot sooner than 53 more days. All right. So my last Dumbcast, by the way, was episode number 70. This is number 71. Number 71 is going to be called My Head Hurts. All right? My Head Hurts. 70 was called My Response to Spreaker Live, episode 111. And that's where I read a letter that I wrote to Rob Greenlee and Alex Exum of Spreaker Live. It was a nice letter. It was received very well by them and most people who heard that show and so on and so forth. Episode 69 was my to-do list, get her done. I wanted to follow up to episode 69. I might do that in the next couple of days if I have the time. I'm pretty busy. I got a total schedule I'll explain. I got a definitive goal because I'm going on vacation in a couple of days and I'm flying out. So I'm going to be pretty busy. But I wanted to respond to episode 69. I wanted to follow up to it, more likely. It was called My To-Do List, Get Her Done, and I wanted to follow up with what I actually got done from the 16 items. Now it's been 53 days. You would have think that I would have gotten to all of it. I don't know. I don't even know what I've gotten. I don't remember what was on the list. But you can hear it on the show. I got to find the envelope that I wrote the list on. But since then, I've created a new list that had 31 items on it, of which I've accomplished 8 so far. And I hope to accomplish the other 20-some-odd items before I leave on Wednesday. All right, so once again, we'll do that later. Okay, so let me explain. My head hurts. Right now, do I sound chipper? Do I sound up? Do I sound awake? Well, I am. Surprisingly so, because I'm on the end of my 5th day of 16-hour days of work. This week actually has been a little bit less. It might be like 15 and a half. But for 4 years now, I've been averaging 4 to 5 day work weeks at 16 hours a day. And I sort of seriously and jokingly talk about my sleep deprivation and my brain degradation. The less I sleep, the more my brain degrades. Not to mention I'm getting older, and I got some high blood pressure, which has actually been quite good lately. It's been quite low. I just had a physical, my follow-up physical, my mid-year physical. My blood test came back, and the news was good. The news was good. I'm all healthy. In fact, the doctor said to me, my primary care physician said to me, it's very rare that I get to tell a patient that their blood tests were great. So I'm being a little bit anticlimactic here because I wanted to sort of end on that, but whatever. That's the lack of preparation of my show. So let me tell you what happened. Why did I stop doing Dumbcast for 53 days? Well, in a previous episode, I mentioned about getting stuck when there's a change in my life, getting stuck in the muck in the mire, mired in the muck, whatever that phrase is. So, I just about 53 days ago, I guess, or maybe a little bit less than that, I had to switch phones again. So it seems like I have a very difficult problem maintaining cell phones. I break them, whatever. There's a whole myriad of things that have happened over my life with cell phones. So I had to get a new phone, which delayed, the episodes because I need a phone. I do this on my phone. I do it in my car. I'm going about 65 miles an hour right now. I'm actually obeying the speed limit. Today I'm behaving myself. And I'm northbound on the thruway, by the way. I'm usually southbound. Right now I'm northbound. And, by the way, for those of you who have been listening to a lot of my shows, it's another beautiful sunny, blue sky Sunday in New York. I don't know what it is. I should track it. I should really take a count. But more often than not, for some reason, on Sundays when I'm driving home, it's a beautiful sunny day. And it did rain yesterday. In fact, I drove through quite a tropical storm yesterday. Wow, the sky just opened up. Looked like somebody was throwing buckets of water to my windshield. Anyway, I got to be conscious of the time. That's one thing that hasn't changed. I got to be conscious of the time. What time is it? Anyway, all right, not bad. I try to do these dumb casts in 30 minutes or less. So I talked about change and how it screws me up. So that was one of the changes. I had to get another phone, and it's different. To me, it was different. This phone is different. It's still a blue, BLU. It's called a Bold, like us, and this is called like a Studio X2. I don't know what it was, but so I had to shop for a phone. I got the phone, and then the aux plug doesn't work with this phone. There's they're all 3.5 millimeters, right? Something like that. The microphone jack is 3.5 millimeters, except this phone accepts a 3-prong, like 2 or 3 black rings around the plug, and all the other aux plugs I have only have like 2 rings around it, so it wouldn't work. So I can, when I do the intro, I like to hear it on my car radio speaker, and then I unplug the aux plug. All right, this is kind of boring. I'm realizing that. All right, anyway, so I had difficulty with the phone. That's the bottom line. But it's really more mental difficulty than technical difficulty. It was just being stuck in the muck because of change. So that was a contributing factor, not the only factor. I wish I had condensed that story real quickly. I explained too much, I think. Well, you decide. I'll listen to it later, but you decide. But let me tell you what happened. This is really the it. This is really something I'm recovering from still today. And maybe this dumb cast will heal me. I'm feeling healed as I talk. Because the name of the show is My Head Hurts, my head has been hurting for 53 days. I've had a pain in my head. Not a headache, but here's what happened. All right, so I keep on saying I'm going to get to it. So let me explain something. I have a mechanic. Well, I used to have a mechanic. And my mechanic said to me a long time ago, see, Dave, you're one of the worst. And I might have explained this in a previous episode. I don't remember the name of the episode, but it's when I explained about being stuck in the muck. He said, you're one of the worst clients I have. This is my auto mechanic. And I said, why is that? He said, because your wife, for instance, who's a great client, will hear something in the car and will bring the car to the shop right away. Whatever dopey noise she hears, she brings the car to the shop right away, and they get right to it. It might be something, it might be nothing, but she hears it and she brings it in right away. He said, Dave, you, on the other hand, you hear a sound, and you go, oh, well, whatever that is, it's a small problem. I'm still rolling, it doesn't affect me, and then you keep on going. And then the sound gets worse, the problem gets worse, but you're so used to it, because it gets a little bit worse every day, By the time you get to me, it's a $200 repair. You just let things go. And I go, yeah, I'm a little busy. I can't just go running to the shop every day. I don't have a part-time job. I have a full-time job. I have basically 2 full-time jobs in one because I do a 16-hour day. All right. So here's what happened. Now we're finally going to get to the it. This is really it. It's only going to take 15 minutes to get to it, but we got to it. So I have sleep apnea, and I have a CPAP machine, and it has a mask and a hose, and and it pumps air and all that other stuff. So everything is, rubber or plastic? The tubing that comes from the machine to the mask, and the mask is all plastic or rubber or whatever they call it. And these masks have a shelf life. They only last so long. But once again, I don't see the issue. I keep on going as long as I can with the mask. Well, what happened was, so this is really the it. We're really getting into the it. The mask that I was using at the time, about 50 some odd days ago, apparently developed a pinhole leak. A small leak. And I started to feel worse and worse every day. When I would wake up, I would feel not good. Eventually, the pinhole leak got worse, but I didn't do anything about it. I didn't even know my mask was leaking because I'm so tired when I get home, and by the time I get the mask on, I'm falling asleep, like pretty quickly in bed. When I lay down, when I'm tired at the end of a workday, I fall asleep pretty quickly. So I put the mask on, and then I lay down. I mean, it's pretty much 1-2. I lay down, I put the mask on, it turns on automatically. It senses that it's on my face and I'm breathing. It turns on automatically, and I apparently fall asleep faster than I can hear the leak. Sometimes I count to 10 and all that stuff, but I put myself down pretty quickly on my work days when I'm tired. So everything got worse. I felt worse and worse every day. And sometimes my wife would be home and she would see me, she'd help me wake up or whatever, whatever. She'd hear my phone alarm. I have an alarm on my phone. It would just keep on going and going and going, and I wouldn't wake up to shut it off. And when I would finally wake up, I'd put my feet on the floor, I would put my head in my hands, and I would just rub my head. And she'd say, "You okay?" And I go, "No, I'm not okay. I feel groggy. I feel drunk. I feel groggy. I can't talk. I can't hear you. I mean, I can hear, I just can't comprehend." It really got bad. It got really bad. But I didn't realize at the time I had a leak because I'm such a bad client. I got really bad. I got very depressed. I'm not going to throw around the word suicidal, but I didn't want to live. I wanted to be done. I was just tired. Extremely, extremely tired. And I was in pain. And I had to go to work. And I was eating and eating and eating because I was so tired. It's a known fact. First of all, I'm a big eater. But the more tired you are, the more your body clamors for food. It's just the way it is. Your body just wants food. So I ate like an animal. And I gained a lot of weight. I can't tell you how much weight I gained because I knew I was gaining weight and I didn't want to get on the scale. I knew my pants were getting tighter. I knew I was feeling worse and worse. And I just was not happy to be alive. Well, one day I come home. I went to the city with my buddy Bobby. Went to go see my friend Rick Crom, C-R-O-M, stand-up comedian. He did a show in Manhattan. I came home and like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, I can't remember. Got undressed, got ready for bed. I grabbed the CPAP I put the mask on, but I'm not laying down just yet. I got my feet on the ground. I'm sitting up. I put the mask on. And there's a leak. And I can hear it. I can hear the air leak. I really hear it. It's pretty big. It's a big leak. But this is how bad I am. Even though I hear it, in fact, I can feel it. I put my hand on the hose. I can feel it. This is how bad I am. I sit there and I start to fix the hose. I try to adjust the hose so the leak stops. But I know it's cracked plastic or cracked rubber, whatever it is. The hose is cracked. It only has a certain amount of life. And then you got to replace it. You think these people aren't going to make something that breaks so you can buy more of them? Of course they are. They're not going to make something that lasts forever. I like to think that the hose would last forever. I mean, I'm only laying down. I don't like swinging around, not like an elephant trunk. It's just, like an elephant's nose or whatever they call it, trunk. Well, I'm still playing with it, trying to fix it. I'm adjusting it with my fingers. And I'm saying, let me find the perfect position. If I find the perfect position, I'll lay down and I'll go to sleep with my broken mask. Now, what makes this even worse is that I have a bag in my closet. And I have about, 10 masks. I have backup masks. I ordered masks a couple years ago. So I just have to go to my closet, go to the bag. They're all still wrapped in plastic. I haven't opened them because I don't need them. You just keep them in the bag until you want to open them. They're all individually wrapped. And I'm sitting there like an idiot and I'm playing with this mask. This is how stupid I get because I'm sleep deprived and I have brain degradation. It's really bad. Well, I don't know what happened, but I finally had an epiphany. While I'm sitting there playing with the mask, I realized my mask is broken. But it was like a new realization. Like I knew my mask was broken, but now I really knew my mask was broken, and it wasn't something I could fix or adjust. So I shut off the machine. I got the good mask, the brand new one. I put it on, quiet, no air leak, solid, 100%. 100% quiet. I lay down, I fall asleep, I wake up 6 hours later, much better. First time in weeks, I didn't wake up groggy. I didn't wake up great, but not groggy. So it's been 53 days. I've spent 2 weeks or more, I can't remember exactly, being sick. I'm calling it sick. And then I spent the last 20, 30 days, whatever it all adds up to, 40 days, I think less than 40 days, it doesn't matter. Just really recovering. But I've still been exhausted. I still can't get good sleep during the day. But I just don't feel groggy, but it's still been like a process. So when I've been going home on Sundays, I haven't been up to it. I like to have a truthful podcast, a real podcast no matter what's going on in my life. But I really felt so bad, so bad, that I couldn't do anything. Not a 1 minute, 5 minute, nothing. Because at the same time I'm feeling this grogginess, I got a new phone. And I just don't have the mental capacity to figure out how to use this new phone so I can do a dumbcast. Also, there was a previous Spreaker Live episode where Rob Greenlee talks about a product. For some reason, he was plugging this product, and I bought it. And it's called the Movo PM20-S. It's a lavalier microphone for smartphones, so I can drive hands-free, because I usually have the phone in my hand. So with this Movo PM20-S, I now have a lavalier mic attached to my shirt, and I can keep two hands on the wheel, or one hand on my notes and the other hand on the wheel, or whatever. And it's not hard to set up. But in my brain capacity, the way I was, it was nearly impossible. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't find the time to do it. So I didn't do it. And I didn't want to talk into the bottom of the phone like I used to because I was stuck on using this Movo. It's really stupid. It's idiotic. It's troublesome. But I was all locked up. I think that's the binded. I was like all bounded, whatever. I just couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. Terrible. Anyway, so I hope I sound good. This is the first time I'm using this Movo. I got to keep on looking at the box. PM20-S that Rob Greenlee recommended on Spreaker Live. Head of content for Spreaker. So if it works good, I'll use it again. So real quickly, let's take a breather, all right? Let's take a breather with the new microphone. Let's see what it sounds like. Ready? We're going to take 3 deep breaths. 3 very deep breaths. Try to make the third one really hurt. In through the nose, out through the mouth. This will make you feel better. Maybe. I can't guarantee the results. Results may vary. Here we go. Breath number 1. Deep in through the nose, out through the mouth. Ready? Go. All right, breath number 2. How did that feel? Did it feel good? Let's try it again. You get a second chance. Real nice and deep. There we go. Ready? Go. I exhaled differently that time. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to exhale. All right, last one. Here's the one you want to make it hurt. You want to take in as much air as possible. Fill up those lungs. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, that was a breather. That breather was brought to you by air. Wherever there is air in the world, go out and get some. Go outside and breathe. Breathe, for God's sakes. Get some air in your lungs. Maybe meditate. Do a couple minutes of meditation. There's an app I use called Headspace. It's not a plug. I'm just telling you, there's an app called Headspace. I love doing it. I haven't done it in a while. It's another thing I got to get back to. But it's called Headspace. All right, so good. I hope you enjoyed that breather. Real quickly, let's take not a break, but let's do the Trump count up. Do you guys remember I was doing the Trump count up? I said that I was going to count up the days from when Donald J. Trump, President Trump, is inaugurated, because I don't believe that anything he do will affect my life. So I added it up, started I think with 11 or 12 days in January. I'm not sure, do you count the day he was inaugurated? Or is the day after inauguration? Because I said since he's been inaugurated. Oh yeah, so if it's since he's been inaugurated, so it was 12 days in January, I guess. It's 30 days have September, April, June, November. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Basically, by the time you hear this, it's been 171 days since Donald Trump has been elected president, and I'm very happy to say my life has not been affected one bit. Not one bit. Nothing. My CPAP affected me the last 53 days. Really badly. Worse than any president has ever affected me. And what happened before that? Didn't my furnace take a crap? My phone broke. My car has a check engine light right now, but it goes off when it wants to, then it comes back. It's just some sort of fuel air mixture sensor. But I'm still getting 35 miles to the gallon. Thank you, Kia. I love doing my podcast in your Kia Rio. All right, so that covers everything. I kind of feel better. I really do feel better. I'm going to try to do a podcast the next couple of days. Real quickly, I'll give you a heads up. I'm leaving Wednesday for Vancouver, British Columbia for a thing called CODA. C-O-D-A. CODA Conference 2017 in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. CODA stands for Children of Deaf Adults. I am the child of a deaf adult. So I will report back to you. I'm going to try to do one podcast every day. All right, we're going to go over 30 minutes. I got to loosen up a little bit on my time limits. We're going to try to do one podcast every day from the hotel room in Vancouver, British Columbia. And I'll explain more to you about what this conference is really all about. But it's basically only for children of a deaf adult. deaf adults. If you've been or you were raised by one or two adults that were deaf, you qualify as a coda. It's a thing. I'm affected by it. And I'm going to learn, I guess, in 2 or 3 days, how I've been affected by it. And what makes me different because I am a coda. You can look it up online. You can look up Coda Conference 2017. I don't know what else. I haven't really looked it up myself. But there's a website, and I'm looking forward to it. And my sister's going to be there, too. So my goal is to do one podcast a day at least, probably at night, to discuss what had happened during the day and how I feel about it. I think it'll be very therapeutic for me if I can manage to do a podcast a day. Okay, that's it. Isn't that great? I don't care. Do you care? I mean, I do care. Do you care? I think it's great. It's great that I'm going to Canada. It's great that I'm going to Vancouver. It's great that I'm going to see my sister. I haven't seen her since January 6, 2017. So it's been over 6 months. We were supposed to see each other sooner, but that didn't happen. And once I had the CPAP situation, I wasn't doing anything. Anyway, otherwise life is good. As good as it can be expected, I guess. I hope things are going good for you. You might want to check out my buddy, The Spark. If you're tired of my podcast, The Spark. His name is Jeff, also known as The Spark, a.k.a. His show used to be called Taking Over the Globe. But I think he's changed it to Igniting the Spark. Doesn't matter. Look him up on Spreaker. And then there's Linda from Awesome Insanity Surfers. Look her up, Awesome Insanity Surfers. I would put all this information in the show notes, but I don't think I'm going to have time for show notes for the next couple of days. I'm not very good about that. This is about all I have the time for. Hit the record button, talk, and then shut it off. There's another podcast that I listened to a couple of times. I liked it, called The Boondoggle. The Boondoggle. I found that not on Spreaker. That was on Stitcher. So I gotta get back to that and get you better information on The Boondoggle. I thought it was a decent podcast. And there's many more. One of these days I'm going to do a podcast about all the podcasts I listen to. How about that? Hey, Jeff, do you think that's a good idea? I don't think you listen to as many as I listen. I am subscribing right now to over 30 podcasts just on Spreaker. I got a couple more on Stitcher. So Dumbing It Down with Dave has a website, dumbingitdownwithdave.com. I have an email address, dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. I'm Twitter, @dumbwithdave. What else do I have? I'm on iTunes. I haven't had a chance to go look at it. And I think this show will automatically upload to iTunes. I don't know. I got to talk to Rob Greenlee about that because he's the one that set it up for me. I haven't had a chance to talk to him. And I have my app. I have my own app, Dumbing It Down with Dave, my own app, which means that you can listen to it and not be on the Spreaker app. I'm not sure what the benefit of that is. I got to find out. I paid a lot of money for that app, but I'm not sure what the benefit is. What did I just do? I just broke something. What did I break? Something just went snap. I don't like that. All right. Hope everything's okay, guys. Talk to you soon. Goodbye. Good day. Good night. Good luck. Good riddance. Godspeed and great skills. Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye.